There we go. How's it, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you checked out my last video, almost a year ago now, I went over what direction I'd like to take the channel. I've got a whole lineup of video ideas, and I can't wait to get back into creating content again. With that being said, to kick off the new year and new content, we'll be looking at the Kuikma 35 litre insulated paddle bag Elite. If you want to see the bag, skip to the time on the screen or use the chapters below, depending on which option I actually use. If you want a more in-depth narrative and general guide on buying paddle bags, keep watching from here. So, paddle. It's blowing up in popularity. And if you don't know what it is or haven't seen it, it's essentially a racket sport with tennis and squash combined. I've been getting into it. I mean, I'm okay, but it is real fun, especially when you start to read the ball and how it bounces off the glass and you get into long rallies. But anyway, we're not going to discuss all that now. If you're watching this, you're here to see paddle bags. I'm someone, if you couldn't tell from the channel, who likes gear for things. And in this case, it's paddle bags, paddle shoes, paddle rackets, all of that. I like to do research before I buy. So hopefully this video helps you when you're buying a paddle bag like I was. A couple of questions before we get started. Why get a paddle bag? Before, I was just using this sleeve. It's been good and reliable for the past year or so. Although every time I go and play paddle with my regulars, we would end up just populating and overtaking every table at our local paddle club. There was just no organization, no storage. I generally like bags for storing things that all are of a similar purpose, like a camera bag for your camera gear. What the heck is Kuikma? Kuikma is Decathlon's racket sport sub-brand. Decathlon is essentially a house of brands company, and they make gear for all sorts of sports. I'll link them below along with the bag, and any other product I discuss in this video will also be linked down below. Why did I choose Kuikma over some more well-known brands like Adidas, Head, Babolat, Knox, Bull Paddle, just to name a few, or even Osaka, the same brand as my current racket and shoes? This is the main nitty-gritty part of my search for a bag that falls into the following criteria. Affordability, obviously. Quality. Sometimes, a cheap price tag matches a very cheap quality. Sometimes it doesn't. And practicality. Is this something I'm actually going to use? Is it essentially future-proof? All the prior competitor brands that I listed all either have two of those three or none in comparison to Kuikma, in my opinion. Using Adidas as an example, because I feel like it is a fairly recognizable brand, everyone knows it, it's fairly reliable. They offer both beginner-friendly, cost-effective bags as well as top-of-the-range pro competitor bags. All great quality. They have the Control 3.4, a very nice bag, all things considered. It's affordable, below the 2,000 Rand mark, which I'd say is a good benchmark for what is a decent price. 2,000 Rand or more is just pushing it. Just below, however, I feel like you are not breaking the bank and you're also not getting complete, utter garbage. The Control 3.4 is also relatively practical. My one issue, which is personal preference, I must admit, but I feel it should be a given as when we look at the Kuikma bag in just a moment. The Control 3.4 does not have a separate shoe compartment, nor does it have any internal pockets or compartments for storage in the main compartment, which takes points off practicality. I'm looking for a bag that I can travel with that has all the necessary pockets and compartments for everything that I need, which I think is a racket compartment, a main compartment, a shoe compartment, and some, not a lot, but some pockets, and at a good price point. Speaking of pockets, The multi-game 3.4 is overloaded. I won't list how many pockets this bag has. There is a video by PDH Sports that is way more detailed if you want to go and check that out. And again, a really great bag, but for pros. Mainly because it is 3,000 Rand, at least when it's not on sale on Take-A-Lot. But it's still pricey in my opinion. Also because the bag is made for 4 rackets and essentially double the pockets for each side of the bag. So 2 rackets here, 2 rackets here, a pocket for a phone here, a pocket for a phone here, etc, etc. This is not a club level bag. It is almost too practical to the level that it's actually impractical. It is pretty much ideal for a team of 2 just for how much it offers, although that is not really common for people to share paddle bags. And I don't want to share a bag, nor carry 4 rackets around. For how long I've been playing paddle, not very long I must admit, but every high level player that I've encountered, there's not one that I can recall that had carried 4 rackets, let alone 2 rackets. At club level, most people just have 1, maybe 2 if you have 2 different kinds of rackets or one's getting old or something like that. This is a great bag if you're competing. It also comes in this really nice sand color that I do like, but buying that at my level just feels wasteful, to be honest. So, why Decathlon? Why Kuikma? The bag just looked right. A little bit of a Goldilocks moment. It was more affordable than all the other competitors, even Osaka, which I had considered. Affordability? Check. It has a great build quality. The materials feel premium and resilient, so you don't need to worry about tearing or water damage. Quality? Check. It has a compartment for my racket and extra room for another, with 2 zips to make it easy to open. Pretty standard stuff. It is also an insulated pocket, as the name of the bag itself suggests. This ensures that your rackets are protected from any drastic temperature shifts or changes, such as leaving your bag out in direct sunlight. The bag also has 2 of these tabs near each zips just to help with a little bit of leverage, which is a nice touch. A mesh compartment for my shoes to be stored and ventilated, especially for travel. This is something I personally was looking for in a paddle bag because the last time I didn't really look after my paddle shoes as much as I probably should have. Didn't really end well, but that will be a video for another time. So be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell to be notified on future uploads. A main compartment with a nice, easy access dual zip and Velcro latch that opens wide, giving access to 2 internal mesh pockets for things like sunscreen and action camera equipment, as well as pedal essentials like overgrips and sweatbands. And room for all the essentials, a sleeve of balls, a towel, a jacket maybe, sunglasses, etc. all in one place, safe and secure. It even has this little side pocket that is perfect for your phone or keys, and inside that compartment there's another little sleeve just to fit your wallet in. Practicality? Check. And in comparison to the Adidas bags, it is cheaper than the Control 3.4 and offers way more in terms of organizing and storage, and is arguably better build quality. And it isn't as overboard as the multi-game 3.4. Just like that Goldilocks moment, not too cold, not too hot, but just right. Sure, it's not as fancy as the top of the range stuff. Might be a little bit simple, but it is just enough. That's why I picked Kuikma's 35 litre insulated Padel Bag Elite. Also, I do like normally matching brands up. You know, like I've got Osaka racket and Osaka shoes. But I feel like Kuikma is a nice neutral brand, so if I ever, get a different racket one day from a different brand, it doesn't really clash with things, which is nice. And yeah, I'm one of those people. Well, that's it for this video. Comment down below what your thoughts are. Would you get this bag, or do you have another bag in mind that you would rather get? Or do you have a different bag? Please share, I'd love to read about it. And please do let me know what your thoughts are about this new kind of approach that I've taken to videos. I wanted to go with something that's a little bit more my own instead of the typical review format, while also maintaining a succinct and thorough review. I do read all your comments. Your support for this channel is always appreciated. I won't tell you to like the video. That you can decide for yourself. Until next time, cheers. The bag also has 2 of these tabs.